Hi, everyone. Welcome to SEO Simplified, the webinar, a very powerful topic, very popular topic that is at the top of everybody's mind whenever they search on Google and see somebody coming up and they're like, how did that happen? And so I think this will be really helpful. Just a little bit about Aviatra, if you don't know us. We are a nonprofit and we help women start, grow, and fund their businesses faster and with more confidence. And we offer classes free like this one and some paid programs and coaching and community. And so before we begin with Michelle, I would like to introduce Bryn Erickson and Kate Smith. They are from our sponsor today, Wood, Heron, and Evans. So if anybody has ever, I mean, many of you probably know the answer to this, but what does IP stand for? They're going to answer that question and tell you how they help with it. So Bryn and Kate, take it away.
Thanks, Jill. Hi, everyone. My name's Bryn Erickson. I'm a new associate attorney at Wood, Heron, and Evans. And like Jill mentioned, we focus mostly on intellectual property law. So I'm here with Kate Smith, who's a wonderful partner, and she focuses on trademarks, and I also focus on trademarks and patents. So we work with many different types of entrepreneurs and business owners, and we work to safeguard their inventions and other creations, brand names, you name it, anything related to the intellectual property that is associated with businesses, we protect it. And Wood, Heron, and Evans is a new partner with Aviatra, and we are just excited to meet everyone and help with anything that we can.
Yeah. Bryn, I'll just jump in quickly to say thank you to Jill and to the rest of the group for inviting us to join. And Wood, Heron, and Evans in the IP space handles patents, trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, and related litigation matters. So we'd be happy to assist or to answer questions if your business or your interests is in a field that is impacted or affected by intellectual property rights and concerns. So anyway, thanks for having us, and we're delighted to be a part of this conversation. So thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kate and Bryn. I really appreciate you being here. And, you know, all of us have trademarks, and we might not all have patents, but we have trademarks. We have our websites, things that we write, all of it. So that intellectual property protection is critical for all of us. So thank you very much for being really focused on helping small business owners. It's a more nuanced and complex area of law than the average person can kind of navigate themselves. And so we need experts like you. So thank you again. I am now going to introduce our experts. So Michelle England, I'm sure she will introduce herself, but I'm going to just do a little bit real quick. So Michelle is a member of Aviatra, and she owns Ambition Business Solutions, focusing on website development and SEO and digital marketing. And when she and I first met, she was talking about her focus on SEO. And I asked her, I mean, Michelle, would you say I begged you to do this webinar?
I mean, you were definitely pretty excited. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So next. All right, so welcome. If you have not already put in the chat who you are, I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to use some of these examples. A little bit about me. I do run a digital agency, website design. SEO is really my niche. I also do systems automations as well. So everything from starting with your lead to nurturing through their process. And thank you all for sharing a little bit about you. If any of this sounds like you, put relatable in the chat. If you are having a website or you're building a website, but no one sees it, you're relying on referrals or social media for leads. You've tried ads or you've considered ads, but they felt expensive or unclear. You feel invisible, even though your work is powerful. All righty. And we already did this part. All right, what we're going to learn today. So what SEO really is, why your website not maybe showing up, and 3 powerful changes that you can make right away. And then you're going to leave with a 5-step SEO simplified framework and a checklist at the end. All right, so what is SEO really? SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it helps people find your business organically without paying for ads. Think of it as this way. When someone searches for a bakery near me, SEO is what helps your site show up. It works 24/7 and it builds trust over time because you're showing up as you're answering people's question. It is not a paid promotion. All right, so let's make a quick comparison here. So SEO versus paid ads. Sometimes you're going to see them called SEM or pay per click. SEO is organic and it is free traffic. It provides long-term visibility and it continues to grow over time. So think about it like owning your home versus ads are like renting space. You're paying for the clicks, and once your ad budget runs out, so do your clicks. So paid ads can be great for short bursts, like if you're launching something or running a seasonal offer. But the minute you stop paying, the traffic stops. SEO, on the other hand, gives that long-term visibility and helps you get found by people who are already searching for what you do. This workshop is about how to own your visibility and not rent it. Have you ran ads before? If so, put paid, boosted, or I'm curious in the chat. All righty. All right, next one, the 3 pillars of SEO. So we're going to mainly focus on-page SEO today. And what this is going to be, it's going to cover everything that's on your website, your headlines, your keywords, your descriptions, your service pages. It's what you're saying and how clearly you're saying it. Off-page SEO is what the rest of the internet says about you. Your Google My Business profile or Google Business Profile, they keep changing the name. Your direct listings, your client reviews, backlinks, social mentions. These are all signals that Google uses to know that you're trustworthy. Technical SEO is how your site performs behind the scenes. It is mobile friendly. Is it mobile friendly? Are there broken links? Does it load fast? Is it secure? Are there any errors in your alt text images? We will go over all these pillars today, but thoroughly in a much simpler way in the 5-step process. You don't need to remember all of these terms. You just need to remember everything that connects back to these areas. Let's take a minute just to cover the 3 areas and see which one you feel like you need the most help on. If you would just drop it in the chat, on page, off page, or technical. All righty. And next, we're going to go into our SEO framework. So we're going to go ahead and put some actions into play here. So we're going to walk through the framework. This is going to be a step-by-step system that I use with all of my clients, and now you're going to learn some of it too. Each step is practical, clear, and connects directly with the 3 pillars of SEO that we just talked about. Discover and clarity, focus on-page SEO. What is your website and how you clearly explain things. Connect is our off-page SEO, and it is how you get found, how you get trusted, and access to platforms like Google, Yelp, different listing directories, and reviews. Share touches both on-page and off-page by publishing helpful content that builds trust and drives traffic. And improve all of your technical SEO, helping keep your site fast, mobile friendly, and working behind the scenes. Before we dive into step 1, I want you to drop into the chat, what is one part of SEO that you're hoping to better understand today? I'm just looking through some of your answers. All righty. I'm glad you guys are participating. I'm really liking this, by the way, so thank you. All righty. Next up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into discover. What are people actually searching for? Before we optimize anything on your site, you need to know what your dream clients are typing into Google. This step is all about finding the right words and the ones that your audience is already using to search for your service, product, or offer. We're going to use 3 simple tools today to help you stop guessing and start getting found. You're going to need to, yep.
Your slide didn't advance.
Oh, is it on Discover?
Nope. It's on 5-step system.
Oh, hold on. Let me switch my screen back.
There it is. Nope. Went back.
This one?
Yeah, there you go.
I thought it was there. I'm like, that's where I'm reading my script from. All right. So before we optimize anything, we're going to find the right keywords. You don't need to be technical to do this. We'll walk you through each step. So feel free to follow along live or just watch and take notes. Either way, you're going to learn how to find what people are actually searching for. All right. So in the chat, are you ready to get hands-on? If so, let's go. And the three tools we're getting ready to use are Google Suggest, Answer the Public, and Google Keyword Planner. All right, now if I change my screen, do you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, so what we're gonna go ahead and do on this exercise, we're gonna go ahead and start typing something in. So let me grab somebody's real life example here. Let's see. Solutions by Sue. What would you say, just because you're on your phone, I know this might help you too. What are some keywords that you would want your customers to look up to find you? You need to take yourself
On mute. Am I off mute? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Fundraising.
All right, you kind of cut out there. What was it?
Fundraising. Raise money. Nonprofit. Fundraising.
So even if we just punch in fundraising, you'll see that there's all these different options that drop up under here. So we're going to say fundraising ideas for nonprofits. As you can see, we can keep going and this will start showing up. So these are all different in the drop down. I'm not pressing enter just so that you guys are aware. But these are different suggestions to kind of get you thinking about, okay, what are other words that people are searching? So if you're trying it on
Easy ways to raise money.
Yeah. Fun ways to raise money.
Or easy, everyone wants easy money.
Okay. So as you guys see, there's tons of different options that pop up. These are ways to start thinking about how are your customers going to find you. If anybody is following along, drop some in the chat that you found that might be interesting. Because I want you guys to use your own. There's not a lot popping up. You'll see that it's not something that's mostly searched. All right, so we'll go over to the next one. So using some of the keywords that you have found in there. Oh, there's Google Suggest. Sorry, I guess I skipped my slide. All right, so you can, for example, use branding coach, photographer, but you want these to be real life search terms that your customers are using, and you'll start to see patterns and new words actually as well. All right, so the next one is going to be Answer the Public. This is a free tool. If you do sign up and create an account, you can actually get 3 daily searches a day. Somebody else, give me an example.
Michelle, there was a question. Are we better off using an incognito window for this? Her search are heavily influenced by her search history.
So you would want to do an incognito search, especially if you're searching for your own. But even if you are searching for your own, it's going to have access to things that you're typically searching. So it is probably at some point also going to help you in both aspects, if that makes sense. Because a lot of times you're going to be searching for your own. So it's going to help you expand that. But if you are doing incognito, it's going to show you what other people are searching as well. And then, so for Answer the Public, I don't know if anybody wants to drop an example in there. I know they're pretty far up, or if somebody wants to come off mute and give me one, we'll go ahead and try it on here as well.
We call on someone. How about Sandra?
Sandra? Okay, Sandra. Can you tell me the name of your business and what you do?
She's on her phone, so it's probably hard to come off.
Okay, she's on her phone. Okay, so it might be hard to come off a chat.
Okay.
All right, so let's
go to Joanne.
Let's go to Joanne. All right, let's see. Joanne, what do you do? All right. We're going to go ahead and just keep rolling. All right. Sign in. I do have an account. So
Sorry.
nope, you're okay.
I couldn't. I'm trying to get onto my computer and I'm on my phone right now. But High Spirits Candle Company. So I like soy or just candles or soy wax candles.
All right. So we're just going to put in soy candles and we're going to hit search. So on this one, these is going to give you different examples of kinds of content that you're going to be able to utilize. And these are great examples for like blog posts or pages. So as you'll see, like it'll show you some of the search results. So for one, are soy candles safe? So this could be like a great blog post. You could go ahead and put additional content into that. Can soy candles be used as lotion? Can soy candles be molded? If you can read all these different options it'll give you, these are great ways to get content ideas on how to get your keywords into your content.
Cool.
And I will download this one and send it to you after the call. If you choose to reach out and give me an email address, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you.
So with this, you do get 3 searches per day. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one for her. All right, next person. Go ahead. Somebody else give me one because I got 3 today.
How about Kelsey?
Kelsey does branding, right?
Yes, we could just do brand design, maybe.
Start my free trial, you guys. Maybe it's not gonna let me do another one. All right. Kelsey, I will do yours and we will send it over. So actually it says I have 3 left because I'm not all the way signed in. So but with that being the case, it kind of gives you an idea of how it does work, and you guys can then be able to utilize these things for your content as well. The next one we're going to quickly go over is going to be Google Keyword Planner. This is inside of Google Ads. So you do have to have a Google Ad account set up. I already have one set up, but I'm using a demo right now on mine to be able to show you guys how to do this. So when you come into the Google Ads, after you open an account, you're going to go to Tools. And you're going to go to Keyword Planner. Now, once you're in here, there's going to be this screen is what you'll come to. You can go to Discover Keywords. Now, you can start with a website, which is where I always kind of suggest people start. And I'm going to use solutionsbysue.com, for example, on this one. All right. So
Solutionswithsue.com.
Solutions with Sue. Okay.
Yeah, it's
If I can type, you guys. All right, so these are different words that are automatically can be found and pulled from her website. I know now that she does have a newer site, so some of these may not be registering a whole lot yet. We're gonna try doing, let me see who else is on the call. We have True North on here, right? What's your guys' website?
It's Blue North.
Blue North? Okay.
Is it Blue North KY?
Yeah, it's bluenorthky.com.
I'm sure you guys probably have a lot, so that's why I'm like, let me use this one so they can see an example of what it'll show up. All right, so for instance, theirs is going to pull all of these different keywords right now. And these are things that are already probably on their site somewhere in some form or fashion. So you'll see, I want to start a business, small business ideas from home, entrepreneur ideas. Now you're also going to see the amount of monthly search results for each keyword. You're going to see what percentage of change, if it's increased over 3 months. So let's see if we can find one that's had a lot of increase. So we can show decreases. So to start business, what do we need? That keyword has dropped by 100%. Granted, it's not a high monthly search volume, but you can see that it does show if there has been a change. So like usually sometimes you'll see, oh, here's one, best businesses to start in 2025. over the year-to-year change, there was a 9,900% increase in that word. And then you also have here, it'll show that there's medium competition for that word. The one above it, you'll see a couple of these say low. So these are words that it's easier for you to rank higher in the search results for this keyword versus this one, because there's not as much competition. So if you put words, you want to have a combination of like high searched words, but you also want to have low search words, because that way when they search for those, it pulls you up higher in the rankings. And then if you look on the right, this is the price of what ads would cost if you were to run AdWords on those words. So sometimes think how valuable to you creating organic content is versus running on the ad. And this is something that goes into your keyword research. And really, I do offer it as a standalone service, but it is the most important thing is finding out what keywords really work for you so that you can know where to strategically place them on your website. And that's what we're going to talk about here next. All right, so step one for recap. We went over Google Suggest. It's fast, easy, super easy. Answer the public. This is a great way to get real questions that people are looking for related to your keywords. Oh, sorry, I had slid my slide and didn't change my screen. And then we also have the keyword planner. This is powerful for checking monthly search volume and competition. Now, in Google search, I will tell you, because I only did the one way in here, we did a website. You can go to discover new words. And if you wanted to search something that could be related to your website as well, you could put the website URL down here, and then you're going to type in other words. So I can type. All right, fundraising. We're going to hit search and get results. Now, this will give you other broad search terms that you can utilize as well. And say you want grant writing, you can add it. You can add charitable giving. And these would be other possible keywords that you can utilize. And it will also show you the monthly search volume. Now, I didn't put a website in here, but if the word were not related to the website, it would not show up. So you can do it one of both ways, just words, or you can put the website down and it'll show you only ones that are related to your website. All right. So now that we've went through that, are there any questions I can answer for anyone on this first section of discovery?
Nothing in the chat.
Nope, nothing in chat. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the next page. All right, so in this next page, we are going to talk about the two steps. Or step two, and this is clarifying your website messaging. So your title tags, meta descriptions, all of this is going to be what is being found by Google. So where this focuses on SEO on-page content, we're going to go through and explain placing them in the right locations. So using your keywords in the right places, you want to make sure that they're in the page title, your header, the first paragraph, your domain name, alt text, which is the title text about your image, and your subheadings. So with this, I do have a sample page that I put together for us, and you guys can utilize this link. I have it looking a little funny just so that it does make a visual representation. So for instance, this here, I have it set that it's automatically going to populate the page title. So this is what would normally pull up if you were searching for the page on Google. I'm going to go to the next slide just so this makes sense. So this would be like what shows up here above the box. Let me lose my hover. So this line would be what would show up here. This next part would be what would show up right here, and that's going to be your metadata. Now, this is not going to show on this page because it is on the back end of Google, but there would be a description there. You want to make sure that that has the main keyword in it as well. And then you would have, let me change my slide back. Your headings. So you're going to have your H2s, your H3s, and your alt text image. So this image right here, we have this laid out. It is obviously the image from the webinar, but how I have this structured is describing what this image is about. So it's explaining that this is for a webinar. It's an SEO simplified. It's how do you get found. It's got all these words in it that describe this picture because all these things are what we're talking about. Now, as you would scroll down, this would be your H1 typically. This is going to be your main headline. I do have them labeled so you can tell which ones are which, but SEO content layout, how do you structure content that ranks? So my keywords for this are SEO content layout, if you haven't figured that out by now. So you're going to go through and you're going to read in the first paragraph, your SEO content layout. You're going to notice that it is in the URL at the top. And then you're going to have it in your H2. So why your SEO content layout matters more than ever. Once again, we have it right here. All right. And then you're going to want to make sure you have it in an H3 somewhere. So these are other related keywords to this. So you have like keyword rich headings. You want to write in a conversational human tone. You don't want it to sound like a robot wrote this. You want to be able to make it scannable and easy to read, but all of these other words, so like content scannable, these are all other keywords that can be used into your content because you want to make sure that keywords are put into headers as well as the content. So as we scroll down, we'll see here it is once again, SEO content layout. You don't want to really overstuff these. You want to make sure that it is mentioned a couple different times, but you don't want to overutilize it because then you're going to be penalized. But this is a sample, and this is something that we can send out to you guys, or you can find it on my website. It is live right now as well. If you want to use it as a reference, actually, if you're under blog, it should be this very first one. All right. And then we're going to go on to the next slide here. All right, so meta description, I did kind of explain this, but if you were to go search on Google, we're just going to search for this layout title, so it makes it easy. So this is somebody else's website, but this here, this section would be the metadata that you put onto your website. And there is a section normally, no matter what website builder you're using, to be able to utilize that. All right, next step, we have clarify top keywords. You want to make sure that these are being placed in the areas where they needed to be. You also want to make sure that they are what's under EEAT, which is experience, expertise, authority, and trust. You want to make sure that your customers are able to trust you. I do offer free website audits and one-on-one strategy if you're having trouble with some of this. That can
I can't
also
see that slide.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. Thanks. So this EAT will also, so meta reads all the keywords. The meta builds that trust. You want to make sure that you're literally stating, you know, what it is you do and why and how you can help. And this is where some of those answered the questions go into play too, from the Answer the Public. Connect with platforms that search engines trust. So the world of search engine optimization is really changing a lot with the use of AI. AI is searching primarily from Bing. Google is still a player, but you really need to want to make sure that your website is not only showing up on Google, but it is showing up on Apple and Safari, Yelp. You want to start showing up on ChatGPT, and you want these things to be able to find you. How they find you is through listing directories and having your mentions constantly going out, whether it's Facebook, whether you're posting on your Google My Business profile, whether you're listed on Yelp. These things are all listing directories. Who in here has a Google My Business page? If you have one, post claim in the chat. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to run a quick free webinar. I'm going to go ahead and do, an audit. I'm going to go ahead and do this on Jill's, just because I seen her raise her hand. And thank you so much for allowing me to do this webinar. So you'll get some free insights here as well. All right, so on my site, you can get a free SEO audit. It's going to skip you all the way to the bottom if you click that button. But we're going to go ahead and do
Aviator accelerators. Yep.
So because she has a Google My Business page, I know that I can go ahead and type that and have it pop up. And I'm going to go ahead and click free report. Now, why this is running, we're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit about listing directories, and then we will come back to this here in a little bit. Are you under nonprofit, Jill?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so as this is running, let's go ahead and change our slide. All right, so another one that is a listing directory in a way is Google My Business profile. If you don't have one, I really highly suggest that you create one and that you keep it up to date. This is a free tool that not only is Google going to search from, but other places are going to search from it as well. And I'm going to pull up an example of one that is optimized here. We're just going to use one of my clients because it's easier. All right, so if you were to go to their profile, this is what you're going to see. Now you're going to see that they have reviews. We've made sure that their profile is SEO optimized. It talks about what they do. And then you're going to see that there are updates. Actually, hold on. Let's use another one I don't have on this account. To make it easier to see. Okay, so Albert's window cleaning. So this is going to talk a little bit about their business. You can add photos. You can see what photos they have on here, if they have any videos. You can also go through and scroll down and you'll see that there are different updates down here. These all go into local searches. So like a couple weeks ago here in Cincinnati, we had dirty rain. So it was like, this is a little short article about, did you notice the dirty rain? So people were searching dirty rain or why is my car so dirty after this rain? This would have been one of the things that could have popped up. Now these are searchable by ChatGPT. They're searchable by AI search engines as well. So it's not just Google, but these also go into your local search. So they help when people are looking for, say we search for window cleaning Cincinnati. He would be one of the top ones that are going to show up, especially if we search Northern Kentucky. I think he's actually the top in Northern Kentucky. But those are all keywords that you can play into as well with searching. You can make sure you have your hours, your photos, your service areas. But this is a free tool and it's easy to update. And then you have listing directories. Like I said, like these are like Yelp, Angie's List. NAP is consistency is key. You need to make sure that every one of your web pages has this, and you need to make sure that in listing directories, these are all consistent. So this is your name, your address, your phone number, and your URL. Let's see if her search is done. Is that at Aviator? I'm gonna grab Jill's email.
Yeah, aviator.org.
I'm like, I don't remember it.
Yeah. Org, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so while this is finishing, it will pop up and I'll be able to view this here in just a second. But you will see through the listing directories which ones they are listed on and which ones they are not listed on. And this is going to give you an idea of if they are missing listings that you want to get your name out there and get listed on those. There are big ones that are data aggregators that spread to multiple different ones. For instance, like Alexa. Or Siri on your phone. Voice search is highly important anymore. And so listing directories can also get you on those. Reviews and reputation. Obviously, Google reviews are important, but so are having reviews on other platforms like Yelp, Facebook. These can all be found and be searchable. And with that, search engines also search in your reviews. So if you're having people leave reviews and you're asking them to leave a review, give them a little bit of education. It's not going to hurt. Like, hey, I would appreciate if you leave me a Google review. Mention what service I provided for you, or maybe where you're located if you're a local business. Because if they came out and say with Sue, I just keep using her as an example, sorry. But she did a local fundraising event for Aviatra and somebody left that review. I came to one of your craft events at Aviatra in Northern Kentucky, and it was a really great experience. I had a great time helping earn money for whatever organization. That review is then searchable as well by the search engines. And so by that, we mentioned Covington, we mentioned Aviatra, we mentioned, you know, Sue does craft parties. We mentioned she works for nonprofits and fundraising. All of that came from that little tiny review. So if you let your customers know what you're wanting them to leave in their reviews, they're going to help as well, especially if you're a local business. Like, they came out and cleaned my windows in Fort Thomas. Okay, well, window cleaning Fort Thomas. These are all searchable. So making sure you're getting reviews from your customers is highly, highly important. All right, let's see if this report is done. Almost. All right. We are going to recap through this real quick, and then we're going to go through this little search audit. And with this, like I said, it's going to show her where she's missing some pain points. Let's continue through this real quick. All right. Share helpful searchable content. So you want your customers to have an FAQ, what to expect. Google pulls from all of these. And then you want to share this content, whether it's sharing it via Facebook, Instagram, if you're doing guest posting on other blogs or other service-based businesses. These all lead into a bunch of your off page. And it is all shareable. So YouTube, guest posts, content, pins, titles. Next, you're going to want to improve over time. These things, you want to make sure that your site is mobile friendly. So if you pull up your website on your phone, you want to make sure that it looks right. And this is something that you can obviously do. You also want to make sure that it loads quickly. There in your checklist, there is going to be a link to where you can check your website speed, and you will see, is it green, is it yellow, or is it red? If it is gray, it is anything above 80 on the ranking. If it's anything that is yellow, I believe that is like 80 to 70 in that range. And then red, I believe, is under 70, which means taking too long for it to load, and Google and other search engines are not going to like loading your page because they have to continue to reload the page to get the content that they're needing. So this is going to be one of the things that will show up in her report if it finishes, and it will show your speed rank. But you can also test that on pagespeed.web.dev, and it's a free Google tester. Next one, make sure that it's mobile friendly. We went through that. Refresh your content. You want to make sure that you're staying up to date on your content and that you're refreshing old pages to keep them up to date, that there's no broken links. You can add things like testimonials, new pictures, or FAQ sections, and you need to be contacting that every 3 to 6 months. All right, these are just a list of some of the services that I do offer. And I think that we have a quick session here for Q&A in case people do have questions. Right before we get to that, this is Jill's report. So, sorry, Jill, but we will go ahead and look through this real quick because everybody can take advantage of this if you are on this webinar. I'm sure some people on here have already received some of these from me before. So we will explain this a little bit here. So listings, these are different places that you can list your business. So Data Axle, this is actually a data aggregator, and it sends out to like 5 or 6 different ones. Dex Knows, this is a part of Yellow Pages. It is also a data aggregator. Same thing with Foursquare. And Neutralize, this one is another one that sends out to multiple. Now, this list only shows, you know, the quick 25 or 30. Now, based upon what your market is and what industry you're in, sometimes there's multiple different list engines that you can get onto. And these all create authority and trust into your brand. And these are all places where your NAP shows up, which is your name, address, and phone number. Now we have, if we keep going, it's going to show some of our reviews and give some great reviews there. And this did a little audit of her Google My Business profile. So this is obviously going to say that here are some areas that you could look at working on as well. And these are some of the competitors that show up in her same category. And this was just nonprofit. I'm sure if we niched it down, there would probably not be some of those. On page SEO, this is going to say we crawled 110 pages. You'll see here is her score. And this is if you looked up on a computer. You got an 87 out of 100. Great job. Means your page loads fast. And then you'll see down here, you have mobile responsiveness, 66. So that is something where you could look at optimizing. Does this need to show up on a mobile device or does it not? And sometimes it's just adjusting the sizes on things. And then this report will also show, is she using alt text and page descriptions? Page descriptions, we'll need to look at this, Jill. Because all these descriptions play into your SEO factors and your keywords being searchable. You'll also see your alt text. These also help in describing what your keywords are of your picture. But if you guys would like to take advantage of the free SEO, please do so on my website and get your own audit as well. And it does send it to you. All right, let's go. Can you put your
URL in the chat, Michelle?
What?
Can you put your URL in the chat?
Yes, I will. I will actually put the direct link for the audit, if that makes it easy.
There's a question. So Tamara has an online business where she does online and then workshops and retreats, so at different locations. So people don't come to her location. So how do you handle the Google business profile when you don't have a specific location other than your house that you don't want on there?
So when you list your domain, you can, or your Google My Business profile. So you can go ahead and make sure that those are targeted to the area specific, maybe where you have retreats. You're going to want to make sure you're mentioning those different things, because if people are looking for, like, say, a retreat in Costa Rica, then it's going to help show up. You also are going to want to make sure that you're creating content that is going to be around this and what you do as a whole, because they're going to be looking at what services do you offer. So what kind of coaching business are you doing? So it doesn't have to just be local SEO, but local is going to be if it is a location targeted business. SEO doesn't really change whether it's an online business or not an online business. But if you feel like you're working with somebody more locally than you are nationally, then you want to make sure that you are putting those local words in there. So maybe it's, wellness coaching in Cincinnati, wellness coaching in Northern Kentucky. But anywhere you can target all those different areas as well. And sometimes it's really better to really niche it down and get granular, because you can always add more content to it, showing up more places.
So do you recommend then that people who are just working out of their house and don't have an actual physical address other than that they do not set up a business Google
So you can still do a Google My Business page, even though it does make you have your address on there. You can do it as a local service-based business. If you don't have an issue with your address being out there, you can still have a Google My Business profile at your home. I do. Yes, it shows my address. But that is also where my business is registered. It does sometimes make you go through a verification, and it can be a real pain in the butt. I'll be honest with you. It makes you do a video verification, basically walk in, let's show us your work area, take a picture of the outside of your house, have your LLC documents ready. I do help with setting these things up if somebody were to need help. And then I also make sure that your profile is optimized as well. So even though you have a service-based business that you run out of your home, you can still use it.
But you have to have you have to have your address, right? So
yeah,
what
you
if
have to be, well, if you do service-based, it won't show your address, but then it's hard for local directories because local directories want to see your address. So you almost got to be saying, okay, am I willing to put the address on there? Or am I not, and I can stay a service-based business? But not a lot of the directories will let you do it if it's service-based. So you can, but there's two different ways to do it.
What if you have like a mailbox somewhere?
That's what I was gonna say. I seen her ask if you can use a PO box. You cannot use a PO box, but there are things that you'll see sometimes as virtual offices. And some of those, I don't know if Aviator has the capability to just, I know you have some suite locations, but a virtual office, you'll see where they charge you about $100 a month is kind of the going rate. And they would have a room that they essentially would probably keep empty that you could go in and say, okay, my business is registered here. This is where my mail goes. This is where I work virtually is my office. You could go in and you record in that little office space this is my office. And that way you can still get location-based businesses inside of other locations. So if you look online, there is a number out there for virtual offices. And like I said, they average about $100 to $150 a month. So that is another option as well. But PO boxes will not work, unfortunately.
We have an option at Aviator for that at our incubator.
Yeah. And I figured you kind of did because I know you guys do co-hatching or code space and that kind of thing.
Co-working. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, it is definitely something. If you have that issue, definitely talk with Jill on that because it sounds like she could probably be a solution provider for that as well with helping you get your Google My Business profile at that location.
Although the location will be Kentucky. So Tamara, I know that's not super great for you, but.
Yep. But there are others, like I said, and if you get online, look virtual office, you'll find a lot of different options. Any other questions? No more questions. All righty. Well, if you guys think of any, definitely feel free to reach out, connect with me on my website. I also am on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of good stuff. So I'll go ahead and post my links in there. And if anybody has any other questions later, don't hesitate to reach out. And definitely feel free to answer any of those questions that you may have as well. And I want to thank you guys all for being here. Jill, thank you so much for allowing us to partner with you on this. And
it was so great. So much information. This is so
there was
good.
so much information. We didn't even get to do all the fun activities, but
well, it was really actionable. I mean, it was a hard pill for me to swallow when I looked at my report, but otherwise I would know, right? I don't know what to work on. And so that was really helpful. So definitely I encourage everybody to get there, have Michelle do a free audit for you. That was really, really, really helpful. And then we know what to do when our report comes back with lots of red.
Yes, we know what to do. And I do, like I said, I'll take this screen back real quick because I don't have all this listed in here. I think somehow we skipped over it. Oh, Lord, did I lose my slide? I think I did. Hold on. No, not for the interview. We will go ahead and go back to, I do offer a number of one-on-one services there that you can utilize. It doesn't have to be an SEO on retainer package. I do prefer to do retainer work because it is something that is a forever ongoing, changing and updating of things, but there are some one-off services that I do offer as well. Strategy sessions, the SEO audit that is free. I'm going to tell you it is not super in depth. It gives you enough to make you ask questions and really kind of figure out here I need to address these. I do offer paid audits. Will literally break down what is wrong on every one of your pages if you are the DIYer and you want to do it yourself. If you need help with keyword research, different kind of things, listing services, I do provide listing services. Where we can go ahead and get your name out on those listing directories and get them updated for you as well. So website design and search engine optimization is really kind of my sweet spot. So Like I said, if there are any questions or anybody wants to reach out or have a one-on-one, definitely open to that as well.
Well, thank you so much. This was fantastic, Michelle, and I really appreciate your time. And everybody, thank you so much for joining. I know that you all are going to dig into this and improve your SEO the DIY way. And then when that gets too hard, Michelle can help you. So, thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks to Wood Heron and Evans for sponsoring.
Thank you.
And thanks, Michelle. Bye.
Thank you.